event is coming. It's called Home to Many Voices, Tales from the Maritimes, this Thursday at the Ottawa Court Theatre. And we say hello right now to Rob Cloney, who is with the Ottawa Storytellers, because you're a storyteller.
Indeed I am.
Yeah? Okay, brief history on the Ottawa Storytellers. We've had this great organization on the show a couple of times, but...
Yeah, the Ottawa Storytellers have been around for about 30 years, and being a resident of Montreal, I get really excited about the Ottawa Storytellers. I actually come here because they have so many events. They have their Stories and Tea, their signature series. They just recently had the Ottawa Children's Storytelling Festival, so lots of things going on.
All right, we need you to just grab this microphone for a second. That's
Sure.
okay. We'll get you nice and close. Okay, so can I ask you what type of storyteller you are then, specifically?
I tend to be a traditional tale kind of person. And physically, I'm a very dynamic storyteller. I tend to move around a lot, so this is unusual for me to be sitting down when I tell a story.
Yeah.
I tend to stand a lot, and I tend to act out and create the images as much as I do the words.
That sounds like a lot of fun then. Okay, so this event that's coming up on Thursday, a maritime kitchen party is sort of what's going to be going on here. Now, can you tell us what a kitchen party is?
Well, a kitchen party is a very informal thing. It might be something as simple as people dropping by for tea, and in the Maritimes, you don't use the front door at a friend's or a family's house. You go to the side door, the back door, and that leads directly into the kitchen. And so often you don't get past that. Or even a house party at night, somehow we always end up in the kitchen. So, yeah.
That sounds like it's going to be tons of fun. Irish songs and much more on the program? Yeah,
Irish songs, but actually I'm going to have stories from a lot of different cultures in the Maritimes. So some Acadian, some Maliseet, some Scottish.
Okay. Now you have brought a drum with you.
I have.
Now I know you're holding a microphone now, but you're sort of going to perform a bit of the drum for us? Can you still do that with...
I can't do it with this, but I can play. I can play, and this will pick up something. I'm
sure. All right.
Okay, if I can just set this here.
Okay, so what Rob is going to do right now is he's going to pick up this drum, and this drum is called a bodhrán, which is a lot of fun. Okay.
Yeah, it's an Irish drum, and it's played.
Okay, let's just get the performance, and then. Okay, there you go.
So.
Okay, you can't talk though without the mic.
Okay. I'm going to sing though, because I'm going to just do it. So. So just kind of like that.
Cool. We'll get you to grab that mic again.
Sure.
Lots of questions to be asked. Can you tell me a bit of a background on the bodhrán?
Yeah, it's an Irish drum, and it's still played everywhere in Ireland, but it's also an instrument that made its way over to the Maritimes, and there are lots of bands that still play it. You go to a pub or just a kitchen party or kitchen ceilidh, and you'll see the bodhrán there. Okay,
so are you saying that this performance, this night, is going to have some participation?
Yes. Well, that song, that the beat that I was just doing that song to, it's going to be a callback song. So the audience is going to get involved in that song.
Perform with you. Okay. So one of the stories that you're going to be performing or storytelling, is called "The Skunk in the Oven."
Yes, that's an old Acadian story. It's also in other parts of French Canada and also in the United States. It's a story of a traditional character named Tante Odette who tends to get herself into a lot of trouble. And one morning she wakes up, finds a skunk in the oven, which is out in the yard, and she has to call on her neighbors, none of whom are able to help her, except the one person she doesn't like. So it's a fun story, and people are going to walk out of there with a big grin on their face.
Okay, so I do have to ask you then, so your stories, this night specifically, there's humor in your stories, obviously, but you've also got some scary stuff going on?
I do. I'm going to tell the story of the Dungarvan Hooper, which is a story from the Miramichi River of New Brunswick, and it's a true story. And very scary.
Okay, so these stories you tell, then who would have written these stories?
These would have been, a lot of people don't know who wrote these. I learned a lot of them. Years ago I worked at a historic village, and there was an old blacksmith there who taught me a lot of these stories. And these are just stories that have been passed around, and they're told and retold, and there are many different versions of them. I have my own.
Yeah. And it must be fun to put your own twist on these stories.
It's important. You have to be engaged.
As a storyteller, then, I mean, do you get nervous? Because it's all about you that night, right? Like, you're the only person who's performing?
I'm very lucky. I've never been nervous in front of crowds or anything, and I've been telling stories since I was a kid. I'm one of 35 cousins on my mom's side, so I've always had a ready audience.
Yeah. Do you get worried about people not interacting with you, or maybe you look at the crowd, maybe they're not into it?
No, I know how to play a crowd, and
That's good.
And I can find the one or two people that I need to get everybody else started. So
Okay. So it's going to be at Art Courts Theatre. That's 2 Daly Avenue. So plenty of room for everybody?
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. I understand there's about 130 seats now.
There is, and the more people, the more fun it'll be.
Okay. So what time do you hit the stage? What time does it all
The show starts at 7:30, although I'd advise everybody to be there for 7 o'clock. Make sure you get a good seat, and bring friends.
Yeah, and but people shouldn't bring their own drums, though, right?
No, this will take up all the sound barrier we need.
The Beau Ron, very cool. Rob, thank you very much for being here today.
My pleasure,
and
Doug.
I'm sure you're going to have lots of fun on Thursday. More details, ottawastorytellers.ca. Coming up, the Phoenix Players join us next right here on Daytime. It's Rogers Television.